do the intro, AJ?
My name's AJ, and welcome to Jackass. you should have known better than to hand that to me.
You're way too good at that.
You didn't have to think about that. How long have you been planning that? You're just waiting for someone to say.
It all just cooks up, but now you have to clip that and then immediately pan to Jake Paul and Ashley.
Yes. Oh, man. That's too good.
Oh my god.
That was perfect.
Well, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, give us a good intro.
Intro. I don't know. We got the 4 leftovers from deer camp here. Deer camp 2025, Wisconsin. And it's been awesome. We've seen a lot of deer this year. But I don't know. I don't really have to do an intro. Y'all know AJ. We got Jake.
What's up, guys?
Jake with blue jeans.
What's up? No khakis today.
No khakis, yeah. We got Clint over here. You guys have met Clint multiple times. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to recap this week so far. We still got a couple days that 3 of us need to kill a deer.
That's right.
But
We'll kill a deer.
Yes, exactly. We'll kill a deer. Every day is the day until it happens.
Exactly. They all feel really good.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, realistically,
Realistically, it gets better and better from here on out. Like, being so close to Halloween, that was a big thing. Big difference from last year to this year. Like, we pushed it back a couple weeks, which got temperatures a little bit cooler, but also much closer into that rut.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess I kind of want to dive into the idea behind this, because we've all had people ask, how do they get invited to this trip? It's not really something that you earn or invited to necessarily. I mean, it's just this kind of all came together thanks to Jake. I mean, honestly, Jake, your family used to have deer camp every year, essentially, and then obviously as you guys got older, you and your siblings all moved to different areas, and I noticed that with your dad. Last year was noticeable, but this year was even more so. I think your dad's realizing this is something we want to do every year, and he's it's something that's kind of filling his bucket at the same time, even though he may not be up here. He's seeing you following his footsteps, and I would say, nothing against traditional deer camps or anything like that, but we're doing it a little bit different. We're not up here drinking all night. I mean, we've got the zeros, right? But outside of that, I mean, we're bringing protein to deer camp. Other than meat, we've got protein shakes in the morning. You've got coffee. You've got, we're focusing more on the health aspect as well as the hunt aspect, right? Being able to wake up bright and early, bushy-tailed, and that's just AJ. But
every morning, baby.
AJ went to bed with coffee.
Yeah. You need that to go to sleep better. Coffee and magnesium.
Lip pillows.
That's the lip pillows, and you're good to go.
Coffee and magnesium's the move, man. I'm telling you. But one thing that, like what you were saying about, if you notice, there's not a little Debbie in sight.
Yeah. And our sweets are this.
Yeah.
And we've got.
What is it called?
For those of you listening on audio, these guys had never had or heard of a fluffernutter, so I had to hook them up with the toasted marshmallow peanut butter white bread, childhood classic, and it's delicious. But that's about as raunchy as the food gets, I guess.
Special occasion.
That's
Special
right.
occasion, right?
Oh, raunchy. We've had some really good potatoes here at camp.
Idaho potatoes, baby.
Yeah, that's why Clint was invited.
To bring the spuds.
Find a way to screw that up.
Oh, man.
Yeah. You're blowing.
There's still
You're blowing.
You're
just blue.
Oh, the mad ass. Yeah. We should have invited him to join the podcast.
It's probably that Big 10 pointer.
It's probably Big 10.
He's running his scrapes right here. He's like, is that RedBeard I saw up in the tree?
Yeah. Right. Flipping the birds.
Yeah. But yeah, so talk to the people about the people listening in about what, like, this wasn't something that you necessarily are trying to earn a spot for. You're trying to, set the example so other people go out and create very similar experiences.
Yeah, so I think a lot of this, look at this, because whether it's individuals on the camera or, just coming in, listening to the audio side of things, it's just important to understand, like, what the foundation of the Arvold's Friends and Family Deer Camp is all about, right? I get hit a lot of questions, of course, because of First From Outdoors, of course, all of you guys being a part of First From Outdoors, all of us being a part of it, right? And really a lot of you guys, of course, good relationships with you. But never, it's not something I was ever asked any of you guys to say, not even, you asked, what can I do to help? But really, be an example of the outdoor space, right? Really, all of you guys just tune in. Piece, if that is that's really why I think about being invited up here is bringing family, friends, good people who are leading by example in the outdoor space to put that good message out there. So bring people together, right? Go out and experience the outdoors with family, friends, that you want to experience that with. Having this, is a tribute to, of course, dad, grandfathers, want to be able to pass on that heritage, the outdoor space. And I think back to to your point, Jonathan, coming up, doing deer camp. I remember getting my first one to, my grandfather, and it was a privilege to be able to come up to deer camp with the guys. This property that we're on right here, we have 80 acres that's butted up to some state land and everything. And it's just a little oasis overall, so it's a very, very cool and unique piece. A lot of people don't know is that we own the other 1,180 acres that are really butted up to this back when we owned Oak Rock Ranch. And that was something that my dad and uncles had all built from the ground up from my grandpa over the years, buying one little piece of parcel here and then the next one that came up. That was a multi-generational thing that ultimately he had worked towards doing and developing. And then, of course, my dad and uncles had gotten involved with it and then created the Elk Rock Ranch. We had, we did elk hunts up here, but all that different stuff being said, that was just a way for us to be able to try and keep that family land intact. Now, all things ultimately happened. Grandpa had passed away, uncle had become really sick, and ultimately wasn't able to be managed to the best of its ability, right? So we ended up selling a good chunk of the property at the time. But we kept this 80, and this was something that, my dad really wanted us to be able to have is, have this little piece of land that we're able to get away to. So this trip and doing, the whitetail trip and trying to bring back the traditional deer camp, because I don't know where along the way, if it was through social media or things like that, you really don't see people get together for a deer camp, right? You don't see a lot of that. You see a lot of people just put up, the grip and grin and all stuff, and you should be proud of what you've done, because it's not an easy thing, whether you have private property to be able to hunt, to grow a buck of mass caliber of even a 130 buck is a stellar buck. You get a buck like that, or you get it to 200 inches. It takes multiple years of work and dedication to get to that point. Or even if you're hunting public, it doesn't matter in what direction you wish to do, right? That is all on your own neck of the woods. But we've gotten away with the flash of everything, of the camaraderie and bringing people together, to where it's okay, not all of us have gotten a buck. I've given you guys enough time to do it.
We've had
I haven't had any
opportunities.
opportunity to shoot any deer this week.
Yeah, exactly. None. No, but it's that, right? It's the camaraderie of this isn't something that everyone is going to be invited to, right? It's not a first form thing, right? This is Jake, my dad, build something better. And even all you guys, like, we have our different, our management rules and everything. And I know that you guys go through and respect those things for us to be able to build something that is
I'll say I've passed on more deer this week than I probably would have in Utah.
Has tested his chism.
Yes. It was, I got some cool footage of bucks walking right underneath me that were well within shooting range. And waiting on text responses to see if I could shoot a buck. And anyway,
but to do that, I mean, it allows us to build something that's great to where people can come up, and there'll be opportunities in the future for different things, but definitely wanting to be able to have the opportunities to do this more with, of course, you guys and other individuals, and of course my daughter as she gets older, and other family members as they get older, my nieces and nephews, brothers, sisters, like all that. But I think with it, because I get asked a lot too, like, how do I get to that trip? How do I earn that? How do I get there? Like, really, it's go out and do it. It's don't look at how do you get invited to this trip, right? Like, I hope this can be a blueprint where go bring that one friend from work who's never hunted before, but maybe talks to you, or maybe he hasn't even talked to you about it, but he's interested, and like it's a very, very weird world in the outdoor space for people to get involved into it because they feel like they're not educated enough yet to be able to ask, right? I mean, I have individuals that I work with all the time, and they're like, it's almost like they're worried to ask me different things, to where it's like, no, dude, just ask. You need something, like, I'll help you. But you have to do your due diligence, and like, I can't make you get in the woods, right? Like, you have to go. Like, you have to go do it and make it happen. To where for this is like, I think of this camp as just being able to bring good people together to have a good time. It's no guarantee. Hunting is no guarantee. It is not a high fenced situation, Joe.
Yeah.
Listen to this. There might be a high fence out there, but it's just not one that I'm hunting in.
the fence got taken down.
Yeah, the fence got taken down. Part of the fence got taken down. There's holes in the fence now. But the whole purpose behind it is just good people. And, do I want it to be able to grow? I think there will be a cap to like how many people can be up here at a time, just because otherwise it diminishes the total experience. And it's not about how many people can we pack into camp. It's about the experiences we can have with the people who are there
and the quality of the individuals.
The quality of the individuals. And I think the biggest thing with that is like, be that person who starts that deer camp. No one's gonna do it. No one in my family is doing this. Like to your point, like re-energized my dad a little bit because we always got together. There were like 14 of us that would get together, and we had the tin can, which had 7 different bunk beds in it, and we had a wood stove in it, and we'd play card games until frickin' 1 in the morning. And then next thing you know, pass out for a couple hours, and we try and get out to the stand before daylight. And it was like, but that was like, there's old school deer camp, right? But then that's where it's like, the fitness piece and the healthy side of things. Like, we don't have, a bunch of beer in camp or liquor in camp or things of that nature, to where it's like, we don't, none. We have zeros, right?
Yeah.
I think it's been an okay experience being sober.
Yeah, friggin' stellar.
I think it's been great.
I'm also going to feel great the week after.
Slowly converting these guys to Mormonism.
Well, it's been great because we actually just swapped the beer for Phorm energy drinks. And so instead of crushing a 6-pack of beer, we're crushing a 6-pack of Phorm energy.
Dude, Jake even brought the big 450 quart cooler just for the 1 pack he brought up.
For 8 cases. 8 cases.
12 cans. Yeah, exactly. I wanted to have the perfect ratio of air.
It does fit.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like Tom in the tree. The size comparison.
Hey man, I wanted to make sure it worked. So,
but to your point though about individuals asking.
AJ has the mic.
Yeah, watch out.
No, I just wanted to.
I wasn't done, but okay.
We're gonna go back to it. I just wanted to add a piece about the fact of the quality of individuals that did get an invite. Right? It's not. There's no competition. There's no secret handshake or anything like that. It's purely just be a good person to other people and try to impact lives in a quality way. And that's one thing that I noticed about everybody at this camp is if somebody saw a shooter buck, they immediately were saying, "Hey, Clint, you should swing over with me. Maybe we can kind of angle him and ambush him, or like, Jonathan, if you roll this way, then anymore in today's day and age, no one's trying to share deer. Everybody wants that piece for themselves. Whereas every single person in this camp would be just as happy, if not happier, if someone else shot the deer that they saw. Just because of the fact that we realize that success is for everybody, and if one person has success, we're all having a good time. Here, you can have the mic.
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
To end that, AJ, I would like to know where my fluffernutter is.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't you have a job?
I thought you were
You
making
had one job.
He ate mine.
I ate John's fluffer. Jonathan's fluffer.
I was sitting here watching him. I'm like, he asked me if I wanted one.
No, I was getting him a fresh one.
I'm just sitting here watching him while Jake's talking, And I'm like,
I guess
like, okay.
Did it taste good?
Like how you waited until I finished.
Oh, I did.
I'm going back to working on the desserts.
No, but it is, and it's nothing to bash because I know there's other deer camps and things that are out there and people who do get together, which is like it's great and do that. I look at it as like don't have gatekeeping in that. You can't expect to be invited to this deer camp, and really you can't be expected to be invited to any other deer camp that's ultimately out there. But you never know until you ask, right? So there's nothing ever there. Like I don't down anyone for asking me, right? And that's like truth is like there's just not going to be enough room within camp, overall. And it's not something that's just like an earned. Like if you're just looking at like what do I got to do to get to that camp and everything, well then you're doing it for the wrong reasons in a lot of different ways, right? Like I don't know if I'm saying or that's confusing, but it's looking at like you should just be the example in the outdoor space. Live a lifestyle allows you to experience more of the outdoor space. Be the example that gets other people involved in the outdoor space. If you're bashing on other individuals or you're upset about not being involved in different things, one, that is a personal issue because you're looking at it, you're making it selfish and about you versus everyone else. And that's where I see a lot of people ultimately go, is they get tied up of why them, not me, X, Y, and Z. Create it, you create it, be the example, create the ecosystem, and do it with a community around you. Because you think about that, like if we want to make an impact in the outdoor space and make it fun and cool for the next generation, kids, my daughter, your kids, coming up is like we set the tone and the example for the generation that's coming up. We also can affect the generation that's before us, just like my dad, right? My dad doesn't drink anymore. Not saying that drinking's bad or anything like that. Like people can go through and have a beer on the campfire and do whatever they want to do, but Dad just it's a different turn of like life, right? Like he looks at it like, okay, we didn't need that to have a good time. We just had to have the right people, right? Who were in it for the right reasons. Just like Jonathan talks, or not Jonathan, but AJ talks on, who is in camp, who is supporting. Like I hope all you guys go out and get a bigger buck than I did yesterday or today. It can be bigger rat, not bigger buck. Especially if you go shoot one where you are. God.
We're leaving AJ tomorrow.
Okay. I said I'm packing up camp. I said I'm also leaving.
So out of respect to the guys, I was the last one in camp, so I was like, hey, give me a spot on the map that nobody's been to, and they conveniently gave me a spot that is almost 2 miles from camp.
We
just
didn't
to
do
get
anything.
there.
We told you all the places
Jack,
you could go.
You said you could go right behind camp.
Yeah, there's
No,
like
no.
3 other spots back there with
AJ
big
is
bucks.
trying to make it seem like he didn't want to go to the deepest, darkest part.
He came into
There's
camp.
deer there.
Oh, yeah, there's
You
deer
found
there.
a good honey hole, man. And what'd you kill today?
I killed a coyote.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
predator
Fat,
control.
yeah, little fat
Saving
guy.
fawns'
So-
lives, baby.
But hey, real quick, dude, to your point of the influence that you have, or with the people that you bring to these types of events and these types of experiences. So I just gotta say, our experience here last year influenced me to go almost an entire year without drinking because I seen how much fun this crew could have without any alcohol. And I know talking with you during that time, it was your year was coming up that you hadn't had any alcohol. It's like, dude, we don't need alcohol to enjoy these things. We don't have to have it. And in fact, I've been hunting the last few seasons without any alcohol. I'm way more laser focused on what I'm after.
Yeah.
The camaraderie's great too if you have the right people.
He's able to drive places at 2 in the morning and then kill a bull the next morning.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, me and RedBeard experienced that exact thing. Yeah, that would have never happened a couple years ago because I would have been probably 6-8 beers in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, well, I think a lot of times we, when it comes to the alcohol side of things, we do that because we think that's what we need to have fun, right, and to enjoy it. It's like, well, why do I need to have this?
Yeah.
To have fun with the guys or the girls or whatever. Like, I get it. I partied in college a lot, right? Like, my wife and I met at a bar, and there's good times to be had throughout all that. But I think when it comes into, this and the deer camp side of things, I really, there's good times, and I can think back about memories and stuff of that nature that were made with deer camp, things that I'll never forget in a very, very positive light. But I also saw the negatives that alcohol brings to that, and I think it's just something that I don't care to have it there. Not saying anyone in camp, if they want to have a beer, they can. Right? I never once said it was never allowed here, right? I think the big thing is, you are who you surround yourself with, right? And if you want to create something great, an ecosystem like that, like I said, it's up to you to do that and to surround yourself by those people because you want to, not just because you want to be invited and look like it's going to get you the title or something that you want, right? Like you don't get the title before actually doing the thing that earns the title.
Living
You
the
have to
lifestyle.
live the lifestyle, right? And that's where it's like you want to get the best way to say get invited to this. Like you have to act it, live it, breathe it, be an example of it before you ever get invited to this. And a good way to do that would ultimately be doing it yourself. I know every single one of you guys take other people out going hunting or go on different adventures with, whether it's your kids, whether it's friends, and you're willing to help anyone and everyone who's ultimately out there go out and enjoy the outdoors. Also know that you tie the physical fitness, lifestyle, all that stuff to it as well, right? Just being a good example of that. So, but no, it's been a fun trip, fun hunt. Overall, and it's definitely this year's different than last year in a really good way. It's just the evolving of it, and I know it'll get better and better and better. We'll build this camp out to where it is like a generational thing. Be able to leave something, behind for the next generation.
You've already got the blueprints for the 7-bedroom, 1-bathroom Lincoln log cabin that we're gonna build.
Beautiful. 40 by 40.
AJ's going to get his Mennonite buddies together. And
I already got it.
That's right.
We'll move it in.
I want to see a
got it no
uprising. We're gonna what is that?
Good
Barn lifting, barn rising,
Barn raising.
barn raising. We're gonna
yeah.
barn raise that sumbitch right over them drain
That's
tracks.
right.
Train tracks.
That's right.
We're gonna have to do it to get it over here. We'll chainsaw it out, and then you and your entire clan,
We're just
you
gonna
pop up here and
no problem.
levitate that thing.
Me and
across the
Jebediah will take
You
care
know
of
what
it.
the insulation's going to be in between those logs?
Sheep's wool. Raw.
I was going to say Zen packets.
How's that fluffer nutter?
I'd give it a 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Yeah. It's got a little crunch in there too.
Yeah,
that
there is
is
that.
White
little-
people still,
little-
it's
little bit of
still
crunch.
Like a 9.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good.
So do
It's
you
good.
think crunchy peanut butter would have made it better?
Yes.
You're crazy.
100%. Yeah.
Drop in the comments if crunchy or smooth peanut butter is better.
I love crunchy peanut butter, but I'd have to agree with AJ on this one. In this scenario, I think creamy's probably got to be better.
My man.
Clint's gonna go stay in AJ's tent tonight.
Yeah. You guys go flump your nutter butters.
That's another really cool piece about this camp specifically as well. That people don't realize because they're not here, but like most quote unquote deer camps, you're going and staying in RVs or campers or Airbnbs or hotels or stuff like that. We are like actually primitive camping. We've got a wall tent, we've got a wood fire stove. Our toilet is made of screwed together logs, and it has a 5-foot hole. Like, and
Tideweed blind.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Tideweed.
We've got a 270
Discount
or
links down
260
below, guys. If you want to
Great view. Great view out.
Great view. You could actually shoot one while you're going to the bathroom if you needed to.
Amenities by Clean Free.
But no, that aspect is super cool because of the fact that we're so inundated with technology and phones and cameras and computers and just all of the stuff that has, for lack of a better term, made the world a little bit softer. And we come here, everybody pitches in on food, everybody pitches in making the fire. It's just like a group effort, which then ties right back into the quality of individuals.
Well, I shoot just like Nolan. I mean, shout out to Nolan in that piece. Like Nolan came up, was it a month or a half, maybe month and a half, 2 months prior to help clear out more of this section here. So we actually had more than just a trail in to be able to park some vehicles and then cut, a week's supply of firewood for the entire crew. And he's not even up here. He wasn't able to make it.
And he wasn't even planning on hunting.
No,
maybe
he was
duck
planning.
hunting.
Yeah, he was planning to come out and duck hunt. He was the only one who actually fed the family.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
Because he actually got ducks.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a damn good duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good duck.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would have asked, I would have brought you some coyote back straps.
I wonder how that.
Jake would have eaten them.
Yeah, I would have tried that. What? How do you think it tastes?
My cousin says it tastes terrible. He's done it.
He's done it.
He said you basically have to plug your nose while you're cooking it and while you're eating it.
Why?
It just stinks. I mean, they're a trash predator.
They look pretty healthy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they were eating good.
That's good.
I don't know.
Well, I tell you what, you go ahead and try some coyote. Let me know how
Alright.
it is. You ain't
Next
gonna
time.
find me eating it.
Can't be that bad. Yeah, but no, it's been fun. Good quality of individuals. Fun time hunt, of course. Like there is a nostalgia piece to the wall tent, the camp stove, having to heat it that way. Like definitely love to be able to have some amenities and things like that, but I think there's something to be said to have the ruggedness to it. Like of course we got a camera here, everyone's got their phones and all that different stuff, but it is nice to be able to just slow down, disconnect. I mean, we got one bar of service over here. Yeah. Even on the top of the hill that we go on,
Yeah.
we got one bar, which is also good because honestly, you might be trying to upload something or do a story here and there, but it's sometimes just good to put it in your pocket, right? Take it all in.
And I think a lot of the individuals that come out here also need that. The 4 of us sitting here right now collectively probably have anywhere from 10 to 15 different ventures between the 4 of us that we're all go this way, go that way, balance family life, balance work, balance a passion project. So to come out here and be forced to slow down and just be in the present has been fantastic.
So with that, how far did you come and why did you come? Because you didn't come last year.
Oh,
Did you feel like you were left out?
no, wasn't I busy last year? I had something going on.
Yeah, you had something.
Yeah, I had something going on. No, so
You just start at Lone Wolf or something.
maybe I had an event. Maybe it was
I think you had an event going on or something.
something.
I think you just
Was it?
lost your job or something.
No,
Right
that was
between-
back in
that was
like
yeah,
February. Anyways, no, I drove from Columbus, Ohio. Left at 2 a.m. Monday morning to make sure that I was in the stand by Monday afternoon. Why did I come out to this? I came out to this because of the fact that, like we were talking about earlier, it's all about who you surround yourself with. So when I got the invite, having known you from first Phorm, from the early days of you starting the outdoors division, RedBeard, we were in the group text together, and to see how everything culminated to right here, right now, knowing the individuals that were coming out here, knowing what this entailed, knowing there's no guarantees, but that it's going to be the camaraderie piece. Once again, life goes a million miles an hour, and this season of life has been interesting to say the least, in good ways, but busy nonetheless. I was like, I just need to get to Wisconsin. I need to get up to the woods. I need to just chill out, slow down, and I've gotten all of that and more from this trip. So, I mean, deer or no deer tomorrow or the rest of the trip, like, this has been a wildly successful trip for me.
Awesome. I didn't ask you guys that, but like, what about you, Clint? Of course, coming out. I mean, Jonathan, do your thing. I don't know.
Let Clint talk.
This is the Redbeard podcast.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I'm just curious.
No, man. So, I mean, last year I was super jacked to have the opportunity to come and hang with you guys. Just through the First Phorm Outdoor games and just being involved with the First Phorm Outdoor community, and then having the opportunity to come up here and do something like this was just awesome. So when this year came around, man, same like AJ said, dude, we're all busier than hell. It's like, how can I reasonably make this actually happen? Because between hunting season, kids' soccer games, football, everything taking place, it's like, how can I add one more weekend there where I'm away from the family and coming up here to join you guys? And for me, all of us, like we were talking last night around the campfire, dude, it starts with our wives.
Yeah,
and
dude.
the support of
Shout out to the wives.
yeah. And I was halfway nervous to even talk to my wife about it. Not that she would give me any crap, but it's like I have this self guilt, right? Because it's like I feel like it's almost selfish in a way because I'm so focused on my hunts from September through all of September and then part of October and then this last week. So, but no, she was way cool about it. I'm definitely gonna owe her a girls trip at some point in time, I'm sure.
Yeah,
she's deserved it, and she, well, you guys have seen, man, all the burgers and stuff she's packed up, breakfast burritos she pre-makes.
Yeah, we know you didn't make those.
Yeah.
This man came over, threw the burgers on the grill, and acted like it was him doing it. But you're just flipping them.
You look good.
Oh, she does, man. But no, yeah, and then Jonathan and I, we live an hour and a half away from one another. So it's like, last year we flew, and that was a little bit of a pain in the ass. Then we really had to lean on the Arvold family to help us get our deer back. That was another huge shout out to Don, man. He went out of his way, ended up buying a freezer so he could store our deer for us, and then it ended up there at your place, right, Jake? And we were able to fly it back when we came down to St. Louis to visit. So but no, a lot of pavement miles pounded for Jonathan and I, for sure.
Well,
20 hours of driving.
Yeah.
I think it's just something to note too, just with, because I mean, you have history. And I think this is important for people to understand, like the path of even like you being here. Like, big reason why I wanted you to be able to come out or have the invite piece to it is, yeah, you've been a part of First Phorm, right? I mean, it kind of relationships all kind of started in that ecosystem. been a part of it, of course. Was a Legionnaire and wanted to be able to do good, and of course, all in those areas, like, but wanted to like help grow the outdoor side of things. Not just the outdoor side of things, but truly wanted to be able to help people. Because I remember when you didn't do anything via social media. Now you do all social media. Not that you have to.
Yeah.
But you've gotten really, really good at like storytelling that piece. And I watch a lot of, of course the content you put out, but it was never something that I like was like, hey, you need to do this to earn this. It was like always like, how do I just get better? And you go out and like it was always just that like, hey, I'm gonna go all in mentality, because I think of the outdoor games, like win in, busted your ass in the outdoor games. The qualifier came out, compete, second, right? You didn't get it. Well, then you go out, you bust your ass, you get it again, didn't get it, right? And like, how many times does someone like give it all they got, get knocked down, but still get back up? I've been a part of First Phorm, and I mean with them for over 10 years now. I can't tell you how many times I watch people go and like get it and get so close, and they build so much momentum, and they just quit. And they're just like, no, because it was all about like they were chasing the end result versus the process. In that, of course, everyone wants to win.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to earn the title. Everyone wants to do those things. Like, you'd be silly not to. Like, if you don't have that target, like, you're never going to hit it. But really, I think the biggest show of just like character is like, how do you take the failure to move on to the next chapter of it? And then you go on and you train, and you pour a lot of that same grit and determination into the endless marathon that you do, right? Or the last man standing, and you crush it. Go out and win, right? It's like, I know, like one of the things we talked about after, he's like, yeah, finally won one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Afterwards, it was like the first thing he said, I didn't tie for second this time.
Yeah.
Right? And you went out and freaking crushed it. And I think that's something like, if anything, and I think about who I would want, my daughter to be surrounded with, or I think about my family, who I want to be surrounded with, it's individuals like that, right? It's individuals like, I mean, all of you guys, because all of you guys have different character traits along those lines that honestly I'm like, fuck, I need to be better at that. Because I'm no different than any of you guys, to where it's like we're all very, very similar in different ways of how we do things, but we're also very different. And there's things that I learn from each and every one of you guys, where it's like, all right, who do I want to surround myself with to just be better, right? Because it makes me better being around individuals like you. And I think that's like, of course, being out here, people ask, because of course, like being a part of the outdoor games, like no one else from the outdoor games is here. Not saying they won't be, or they won't have those different opportunities, right? Like, but it's like, I get asked those different questions. There's also a lot of people who ultimately, they showed up for one time and they just, all right, gone. Like, cool, great. We were in it for a little bit of a showboat side of things, and that's cool. It was maybe just a thing to be able to do, which is great. And that might just be some people, but I would encourage everyone to have that kind of go all in mentality of what they're doing, because that's something, honestly, like I'm not perfect at, but I try to surround myself by people that ultimately push me to do that and be better at that consistently. So I respect, that's for sure.
I appreciate that, dude. Well said. It's really, that's what it comes back to, is it's a compounding effect with the people that you surround yourself with, and the ecosystem that you put yourself into. And I think back of where I was in my life just 5 years ago, prior to doing 75 hard the first time. And honestly, that's where my journey began. Is once I did 75 hard and I could see the grit within myself, the things I was capable of, then I wanted to do the next thing, right? And when I did the next thing, it started to bring people into my circle like you guys. And you said it perfectly, man. We have the same mindsets, but we have different skill sets. So it's like we push one another to level up in different ways.
Everyone asks, or I shouldn't say asks, like now we're going in that kind of direction, is like how do you find those people, right? How do you get surrounded by those people? How do you hang out with those people? How do I get into that friend circle? Well, it starts with you being that person.
You become that person.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you start doing those things and acting like the people you want to surround yourself with, more of those people come out of the woodwork. Like you start doing the things those people do. You start hanging around those kind of people more. You become a part of that ecosystem, but you can't just wait and think that they're going to invite you out to their island.
Yeah, you've got to build your own table first, and then they will come.
Yeah, and that just kind of goes to, talking about just deer camp, building your own, whether it's elk, deer, blacktails up in the northwest, whitetails, mule deer, whatever. There's so many ways to do that, and it is difficult. Honestly, it's hard to find people that either are willing to take the time off or have a good enough relationship with their spouse so they can take a week off or a couple of days. That's not easy for the spouses. My wife's a saint, just taking on Halloween's one of her favorite holidays, and I'm out here. And that's something that honestly for me doesn't really do it for me, but she loves Halloween, and so she's got the kids all dressed up. They've got all their costumes. She's taking care of that while I'm out here enjoying this time, and so it definitely comes down to what have you done throughout the year to build up that relationship with your spouse. That's a big one, but also if you don't have people that you can create a deer camp with in your circle, maybe it's time to find some new friends. Branch out a little bit. It's not that you are necessarily leaving people behind. It's just, sometimes you do have to leave those people behind if you want to progress in these other avenues of your life. Deer camp, again, it's not easy for us to get out here from Utah, but it's 100% worth it. And I'm excited to bring my son out here eventually and share this with him. Show him why whitetails are exciting. Just they're still not as good as elk, unfortunately, but they're getting up there for
That's
me.
debatable.
There's no debate.
AJ hasn't gotten one yet, so he doesn't know the whole elk piece.
We got to bring you out west.
Yes.
Yeah, there's there's no comparison.
Yeah.
Well, Jake took me out last time and tried to kill me. So.
But hey, man, it's part of the hazing.
But
that was honestly a big test. That's really a big reason why you're
Why?
here.
Because I look like a golden retriever following you up a cliff.
I think you were the only one who didn't want to kill me on that trip.
No, I was ready to go, man. My tail was just wagging the whole time.
It really was.
But don't think we're letting the resident gear guy and the reason we're sitting around the fire slip through the cracks.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan, RedBeard.outdoors. How far did you travel, and why are you here?
Yeah, so I guess I technically traveled the longest because I had to drive an hour and a half to Clint's house, and then
Thanks a lot.
we drove out here.
Yeah.
But it is nice having all the stuff. Like I was able to bring out extra lights and all. Like you said, the gear guy. I really have kind of turned into the gear guy. I'm the gear nerd. But that's what I love to do. But I also have found out very, very, very much so this year that the best gear doesn't get you kills. It really doesn't. You can have all the nicest, best stuff, and it's still, and it's not that I don't practice, but there's little things that that you just can't.
What?
That wasn't a random
I don't know what
giggle.
you're talking about.
That was Jake and his murderous stomach acting up. So sorry for the interruption. Please continue.
He was 2 hours later.
He was eating his whitetail. He felt like he had to grunt like the
Don't worry, I heard another one blow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways,
So I had to drive. I mean, technical drive time was 20 hours from Clint's house, so about 22 hours for me. But it turned into about 24 hours because we did. We had breakfast. We went and had dinner with your buddy over there in Billings. That was. I mean, 24 hours in the truck, and Clint still hasn't killed me after spending all of elk season essentially with me, and then 24 hours in the truck with me.
I think our wives are starting to worry.
That's a test. Yeah. They'll worry when a camper goes in the back of that truck.
Yeah, I think they'll be real worried when I don't come back with anything from this camp.
That's true. Yeah.
definitely
honey,
got to
I
kill
was just
something
hanging
for that.
with the guys.
Yeah, exactly. That's a little fake and gay. We're far enough in that YouTube can't censor this now. No one's going to be listening that cares about that. Yeah, exactly.
This whole podcast was just to get us to that point.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, and with that, guys, we're done. Okay. Oh man, no, but it really it's interesting. Everyone brings something different to the table. AJ's got that energy drip constantly going through his veins.
A lot of caffeine.
Mr. Optimism constantly. Sometimes blind optimism, but that's fine.
It'll carry you a good ways.
It'll take you places.
I've been enjoying
You carried that log really good all the way out of the way.
We'll get to Jake's hunting story.
Oh my gosh.
I think Clint
I was wondering why you wouldn't come up in front of me to help move
he was
brush.
taking a log.
I was like, what is he doing?
All right,
back there?
we'll get to this story. But basically, they used a log. We were done with the log. Clint said, "Here, AJ, you take this log."
He did.
And I did, and I carried it the rest of the way just to have Jake turn around and say, "What the hell are you doing?"
He carried it all the way to the tracks, and then he was like, "All right, let's put the deer on the log now."
Yeah.
Jake's like, "Oh, we'll drag it from here."
But tying right in with Jonathan's piece about my optimism, I've been enjoying all of my talks with Jonathan because of the fact that you have 100% become the gear guy. We've got to shoot some guns that I otherwise probably would never be able to shoot. You brought your Starlink. We were talking battery cases. We were talking just a number of different things. So it's always fun when you and I are able to get together because of the fact I'm like, what's Jonathan bringing on this trip?
Made Jake look good with the photos.
Hey, these photos are going to turn out so good.
Oh yeah, it's about 150-inch 7-point.
Listen, the angles look really good.
Yeah, that main beam on that one right at that left side. Yeah, right side.
Yeah.
Right side.
I will say, are we going to do his story?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get into his story, but regardless of rack size, big, little, in anybody's eyes,
Big racks.
that thing was a cow. And we should know, because we thought we were going to be like pioneers and carry it out on a log down a mountain.
We did.
Do you want to talk to people about that?
What do you mean?
What
Talking
happened?
about-
What
we're
happened
talking
this
about that
evening?
Oh, hey,
It all
you just-
started. It all started with I'll get into my stuff later. You guys can figure that out. But we're not making this a tradition that I shoot a doe and miss every first night.
Yeah, that's how the weekend started.
We came up early, and I told Clint, I said, we're getting in the stand Friday night, and I've got a good feeling about it. And sure enough, the doe came in, and my dumb self had set the killer of it was that I had put my bow holder that sticks out from the tree right where my bow is supposed to go to shoot at where I was planning on shooting. So there was tons of other shooting lanes. Of course, the doe was in that one. And so then I'm leaning back in my saddle trying to figure out, this and that and the other. And anyway, long story short, she's definitely alive. Kind of ricocheted off her shoulder. And yeah, I've had 2 opening nights that way. And I find the deer opening night, I just need to get better at actually, shooting the deer properly. Yeah, we could have been eating doe all week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got to take the highs with the lows.
Yep. Highs and lows.
Well, shortly after that, I texted Clint and said, "Hey, don't forget to aim low." And he didn't understand. I just left it at that.
Yeah. Well, let's go through because I think it's important, of course, like highs and lows. But let's have Clint go through and tell his little story.
I thought you were talking about my face after I missed that buck.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get to that one. We'll get to that one. But Clint went through, of course, had probably something that most people don't want to have happen in that, but it is. It's one of those things where it's like, one, I don't down him for it or anything of that nature. It's just like, dude, the whitetail is a phenomenal animal, and it can go the distance. That's for sure. So.
Well, and something else just to preface before we get there is from a Western guy going Eastern or Midwest, there's a lot more private land. With the more east you go, the more people there are, there's more private property. And when you're used to hunting out west, where you hit an animal and you aren't even concerned about property boundaries for the most part, as far as tracking it. That's something that doesn't really cross our minds, but is very prevalent in Jake's mind growing up, as a Midwestern guy. Because there's just a lot of people that won't let you on their property, even if you can prove to them that you've shot a deer or an elk or whatever before it got to their property. They don't care. They don't want you on that land. So, Clint.
Yeah, it was, well, like Jake said, it was just one of those experiences us as archers never really want to face. And fortunately, I have been very successful in finding all my harvests, almost all my harvests. The only two that I haven't was this one on this trip, and then last year I also was not able to recover that doe that I shot.
We found it.
The first one, not the second.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, but anyways, with this experience itself, it was last light. This buck, great frame buck, man. I was super jacked. He came in right at last light, and he was at 28 yards. I felt like everything was just right. I thought he was perfectly broadside, honestly. I pulled back. I had Jonathan's voice in the back of my head, aim low. So I aimed low. I tucked it tight right behind the shoulder and let it rip. The shot felt great. It sounded great. The way that the buck jumped up and ran a short distance before I couldn't hear him anymore, it all felt great. So I hopped off the stand. Like, I probably waited 15-20 minutes, then hopped out of the stand. And I was in a little hole, so I knew I didn't have to worry about bumping him, just to go at least check my arrow. So I went there and checked my arrow to see what the blood looked like, and it looked great. It looked like it went all the way through it. It broke the arrow, and there was bubbles on my arrow. So I thought for sure it was a good lung shot. Yeah. So as I started following it, the blood was great, and there was bubbles all throughout it. So I just kept pushing through and was tracking it. And anyways, long story short, we ended up tracking it. The whole crew was out there trying to help me, and ended up tracking it over 1,000 yards, which I thought was just insane. Like, I've tracked elk that have bled way less than that with less air bubbles in it that I found dead in a short distance. And all you guys that were walking with me, even especially AJ, was like, dude, it's right over this hill. It's going to be, belly up over a log. And all of us were like, what the hell, dude? This is crazy that it's still going. So.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important. Like, I mean, ultimately, tracked, over the distance and the yardage itself, but ultimately, the animal got onto some land property that we don't have access to. One of the nice things up here in this area is that we, of course, over the years have a very, very good relationship with really everyone around. But when we had sold the elk ranch portion, some of it went to different different individuals, and some that we don't know. And one of those individuals just does not allow us to go onto their property. And as unfortunate as it is, it's one that we just have to be able to go through and respect. Because I think we would have been able to find that deer if we would have been able to go onto that. And I think it's something, because it's like, I would love for them, if they shot something, for them to be able to come over, have a good relationship back and forth there. But it's just one of those scenarios where it's like, it's something that you got to go through and respect overall. It's like, yep, all right, well, can't go over there. So, you did everything that needed to be done, and above and beyond in that kind of sense. I think you made a good shot. I think it was a single lung. To be able to go that far, definitely a single lung. But I saw the blood. I mean, there was tons of blood, tons of bubbles, and I mean, it just had that look like, yeah, it'll ultimately be there. It's just how far it ultimately went.
Yeah, and I would have never guessed, like, where I shot that deer. I would have never questioned whether it was going to make it to another piece of private ground.
Right.
Like,
no, you weren't even close.
No.
Yeah.
It just blew my mind that it went that direction and it went that far. And then it was crazy too how the blood eventually just started finally did lose it all together, gridded like crazy on the public ground that I possibly could, and then I can only assume that it crossed that border, and that would have been the next place that we would have ultimately checked if we had that relationship.
Well, and the other weird thing, and part of the situation that probably didn't help matter was all of us were coming out of archery stands, and that buck ran almost through camp. And so what we think happened was with people coming back, it rolling right past camp, we didn't find a single place where he stopped and bedded down. I think if he would have had a secure spot closer, he would have bedded down and we would have found him piled up right there. But I think unintentionally, as we all came back into camp, I think it was the perfect storm to result in what it resulted in, which, is never good.
No, and I agree. And like we talked earlier, there's always a lesson in every experience, right? And I sit there and ask myself, like, what could I have done differently to have a different end result? I felt like I took a good shot. Everything about the shot felt right. But the thing where I screwed up is I got out of the stand too early. I got overly confident that that buck wasn't over the first hill that he'd be piled up. And I just started following a damn good blood trail that just had me sold that he was piled up nearby. And he wasn't. And I kept pushing. I called in all the reinforcements, like AJ said, and I'm not shitting you. It was like spotlights, like a search party from every angle. In fact, Jonathan, he on his way to me, he cut the blood trail, and so it's at that point in time, it's like, man, this blood is so fresh. I think we're probably just pushing him around. So unintentionally, that's what took place. So that's my learning lesson I took from it is no matter how good you think the shot is, unless it's like Arvold's like tonight, where you watch it go down, then stay where you're at. Give it at least 45 minutes or an hour.
Yeah. That's always a good. Giving it an hour is always a good rule of thumb. Probably got deer walking into camp back here.
As long as it's not Yogi.
Yeah, that's true. There's Yogi and Boo Boo around. That's for sure. Big bear. I think through it's like it's the highs and the lows throughout all of it. But no matter what, we'll be able to come back stronger for it. Still got a couple days to go through and capitalize, make it all happen. But am I supposed to go through mine?
Yeah, I'll go through mine later.
No, yours happened before mine did.
I've had multiple.
No,
I'm going to
say
waste a
mine.
lot of time.
Yeah, no. You should go through yours.
Okay, so first night, already went over that, figured out a better way to rig up the tree, because, again, that was just not smart, certain things that I had in that tree. And then every night that I've been here, except for today, ironically, everyone else had action today but me, I've seen deer every single day. So that's been awesome, because last year it definitely was not that way. I think the only deer I saw last year was the doe that I shot last year. Outside of that, it was it just was too warm. They weren't moving as much. They were very nocturnal. They'd show up on cameras at night, but not really moving during the day. Anyway, let's see. So the next day, I don't think it was Saturday that I had that shot. And then Sunday, got out of the stand at 11 because things were quiet, and sitting here around camp getting food. Noon, had a buck walk through. 12:10, had 5 does walk through the spot that I had been sitting, and should have been sitting all day. And that did not happen. So the next day, or no, I think it was that evening. Was it Sunday evening? I'm getting all the days mixed up. But anyway, one of those days, I'm sitting there, and this buck comes out right at sunset. So still had 30 minutes of shooting light. So it was good, good light. He comes in, and I can see and we had set the rules of 8 points. Now, going back and reading the texts, even better. Jake did specify at least 4 points on one side. I did not clarify, and I also did not want to break camp rules because, and the reason why is I'm not scared of Jake. I may not get the invite back if I break the rules, but it's more of the reason we have those is, after your first buck, you obviously want to progress. You want to shoot a more mature buck, which that 4 points on one side, because there could be things that happen to one side of the rack, injuries, genetics, things like that. It generally indicates at least 3.5 or older deer in those cases. And so we're not able to manage all the property here, but if we're going to continue this deer camp, we want to have better deer growing, repopulating the area for us to be able to enjoy for future generations. So, totally on board with that. Anyway, I had a 4x3. That's the Utah coming out in me. 7 point, a 4x3, not a 3.5 on each side, a 4 point on one side and a 3 on the other. Come in, and I'm like trying to, secretly text Jake over here. And send him a text. My mistake was I didn't send it directly to him. I sent him in the group chat, and everyone else was BSing in the group chat at a similar time. And anyway, I said, hey, I've got a 4x3 because that's how you count. 4 on one side, 3 on the other. Came in, and I said, do I have permission to shoot? And while I'm waiting, now this wasn't on Jake, right? There's bad service. It's also prime time in his area. He was looking for deer, and it was the group chat. All of those things together. Anyway, I put an ear pod in my left ear, which is not on my anchor side, and I was listening for Siri to tell me yes or no from Jake. That is the legit one. And so I draw back on this buck, and I'm tracking him until I'm like, well, he's about to hit my wind. And sure enough, he hit my wind, and he ran back towards the tree line and snorted at me twice, or blew at me twice, and then started slowly walking away towards the tree line. And I'm still at full draw at this point. I mean, it had been over, I don't know, a minute and a half, something along those lines, and I get a response in my ear. It says, Jake replies, yes. So, at that point, it was a little too late to shoot the buck, and I watched him walk out of my life forever.
Such a somber story.
Wow.
Just rub that salt in a little bit more. Anyway, I continued to see does, and then I think it was it Tuesday? I had 3 bucks walk in, not shooter eligible, but got some cool footage of them going directly underneath. Like if I had a spear, I could have jumped out and stabbed them. Like they were right there. That was really cool. And then yesterday night, so Wednesday night, I had this big old 10 point, probably one of the bigger ones we've seen on camera, walk out and made an awesome scrape. And the way I was set up, I wasn't set up properly in the saddle to be able to shoot the direction he went. I was set up for where I thought they would go. And he ended up funneling off to my right, which is on the right side of the tree. I'm a right-handed archer. My bow was on the left side. So being in a saddle facing the tree, I had to get all the way turned around while he's walking by me at 10 to 15 yards. So trying not to be seen or heard by the buck, trying to get my bow around the tree, trying to get tight enough that I've got stability to be able to draw back as my back is against the tree. And I finally got all of that nailed down, and I go, Merk, because that's what you're supposed to apparently say to whitetails. They don't listen for anything. Here in Wisconsin, they're just as stubborn as Jake.
Not when they're swimming.
Yeah, exactly. Not when they're thinking with the wrong head. But no, so he didn't stop, and that was the first good shooting lane. I would have killed him there. Second, he kept going. Again, nothing. And then I finally essentially just screamed at him, and he stopped. But where he stopped was, again, directly where when I set up was behind me. And I hadn't looked and seen there was these little tiny tree branches. Very, very small things. I'm like, in my head, I saw that it was there, and I just thought, you know what? Like, my arrow should be fine at 30, 35 yards. Sent the arrow, because, again, I'm not going to be able to call him back in at this point. He's aware I'm there. He's walking away. and sent the arrow, and you can see in the video that the twigs on that branch, or the branches, just start shaking because my arrow clipped the branch on the way out of my bow and went just over this 10 points back, and I get to watch him run out of my life forever. So,
Write a book.
I know, right? How not to hunt whitetails by RedBeard. But that was yesterday. So yeah, that's happened. Yeah. And I'd rather have a clean miss, but at the same time, it was. And that evolution broadhead did a freaking number to that tree. I will say that.
Oh yeah. And it held up pretty good too.
Yeah, and then I turned around and looked at the camera, and I just had this, all my emotions were on my face. I just said,
yeah, your emotions.
I missed.
You're not the only one that missed.
But you didn't jump out of the tree stand, and that's what matters.
That's what matters. You're still here.
Yes, I was very close. The Creed song was playing in my head, and that MKC knife almost came out to cut my tether. At 15 feet up in the tree.
Jeez, man.
Luckily, I had my buddy Jeff Cordero talking me off the ledge.
Yeah. Man. No. Well, you weren't the only one that missed, because I missed one. I had one up on the Big Oak Ridge. I had a nice 8-point come out. Last light. I mean, I've had multiple opportunities at a couple different younger bucks and everything. Back over when Tom was in his stand, I had one. Literally, I was trying to get him on one. And of course, the day he doesn't sit in that spot, walks right on by. We had 30 yards. Yeah, that's how it always goes. So
they were like, "Hey, that tree lost some weight."
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad that shade's gone.
Yeah, that tree's not. It doesn't have wings anymore.
Yeah. Right. But really was trying to get Tom on like his first buck, and that was kind of the first few days, and then just let him go do his thing, and then I ended up splitting up to the Oak Ridge. Got up there, had encounter on a few different bucks, and they were. I mean, one night I had a little spike come in, hang out for probably a solid hour behind me, just like a live decoy and everything. And then after that, had a doe come in, bust me with a buck that was grunting behind her. Never saw the buck, ran off. Following that, I then had another buck come in, and it was actually the buck that I shot. This would have been on Tuesday. Had this buck come in, and it was literally last light, and I couldn't make out really who or what he was, so I decided to pass on him, let him walk, and he was only at 10 yards, almost dang near below my tree stand, and he passed, and then directly following him, I had some more noise come, and I could see him vaguely through the binoculars, just trying to pull the glass up to be able to grab as much light as physically possible. And I finally find the figure in my binos, and it was really hard. It was hard to make out, but I just saw it 40 yards there. It was two very large bucks just stand off at each other. And this one, he sounded like freaking Godzilla coming through the woods. Just, you could tell he was big, like just the weight, because it was more of a stomp than it was a walk through the woods. You could tell he entered kind of the domain, and that's who I saw. I couldn't make out how big he was. He was big. And then
Jake Buck.
Huh?
The Jake
Buck. Yeah. Well,
get in his way.
I'm gonna get you next year. But
your dad's gonna come in.
yeah, Dad will come in for one day and end up shooting. But and then there was a full-on battle that took place. They started fighting, just going to town, which was really cool. Wish I could have seen it because it was almost pitch black. But I could tell they were fighting 40-ish yards away from me. There was doe, I think, with them, and there was just a bunch of running and everything going on. I ended up staying after probably an hour or so later in the stand just to let them get away, so I didn't bust anything out. And that was Tuesday night. Then Wednesday morning, went out to the same stand and saw literally nothing, hardly at all. And then just out of the calm quiet of everything, ended up shooting. Was it Wednesday? Was that Wednesday or Tuesday? I can't remember. They run together. Pretty sure Wednesday. But
So actually,
ended up.
yesterday I was over there with you for the first part of the day.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
So yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was
That's when but nonetheless had 8-point come up right out of the woods, and 40 yards, stood perfect broadside. Literally make that shot any day of the week, and ended up just drawn. Felt super comfortable. Let the arrow fly. About halfway, the arrow was halfway to him, and it just went zip. And it was just a weird crack sound. And my only thought could be that the broadhead had deployed. I was just trying a new mechanical broadhead, and I don't know if I clipped it closed enough or what ultimately happened, but I believe that it opened and turned, because I just watched my arrow go like a complete sideways into a bunch of trees and rattle all over, and literally fell right on the ground next to the buck. So I found it laying on the ground where he was standing. So missed him. He trotted off, did his own little thing, and wasn't like too concerned. He was just like, "What the heck was that?" He ran off, and then didn't really see anything else outside of that. Knew I'd let the other bucks walk, but now then coming down to kind of Thursday, it was just like, all right, well, what opportunity can ultimately I have? What can I get as far as meat in the freezer? Want to be able to go through and put something on the board, of course. I just had a really good feeling about tonight, and we had literally very little activity yesterday. Very little activity this morning. Like nothing. I don't think I saw anything this morning. And then, but went out to the same spot, and literally last light, I texted you guys at 6:18. I think it was. So literally right before that, had this buck come up. I don't know what to call him. Uni? I don't know. But he's like, he's just a cool old brute. It's the same buck that I had underneath me that I had let pass, but he's got a mainframe 5 on one side, and then literally just like a split, almost like spike. You can tell he's an older buck. He's got some white and everything inside of the base, but he's just a big
the base
deer.
the bases on his right side, or the base on his right side was very narrow.
Yeah,
like it was either injured or genetic.
Definitely a genetic anomaly piece in there, but he came in 30 yards and right down the trail. Same, just kind of followed the script, went through, dropped it on him, and just pinwheeled him. And arrow went into the dirt, found the arrow, but I watched him bound off, crashed into the woods about 40 yards. Then 40 yards, he stopped for a second, and then I just watched him tip over backwards and fall over. I think he went solo probably about 60 yards from the stand or so. And then that's where it all ended. Can't get much better than that right there. So, and then these guys came in, of course, buck down Tex, and these guys came on in. AJ went through. Yep, came in. He took his 3.7 mile hike all the way back in.
Yeah.
To get there.
Most of that was him getting lost.
Yeah. He did
that only happened once on this trip.
The long loop.
That only happened
Right.
once
He
on this trip.
walk east from his stands, and then south, and he chose to walk north, east, west, and then south.
Yeah. When you hit that town, you went too far.
Yeah.
But no, everyone came up, went through. We got him out. We got some photos. Jonathan got some awesome photos and everything. And then we logged him up. Did an old school style of hauling him out on the log. We were out on some public land, so hauled him down. got to the railroad tracks. Railroad tracks give us a straight shot back to our camp, and we ended up dragging them the rest of the way. So we got them back and had some good deer heart around the fire, and ate it right before we had the podcast, right along with the nutter butters or whatever those things. Fluffernutters.
But
Fluffernutters and deer heart.
But I was gonna say, fluffernutters can't compare
And
to
teeny apple.
fresh deer heart.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It's even good cold.
Maybe you put them on the fluffernutters.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
I did that last night with the elk steak.
But you're Jake.
I didn't do
Jake
it.
has his own recipe book.
I did the raspberry jam elk steak.
Well, that makes
done that
sense.
before?
I don't know if you realize how much we worry about you. Daily we worry about Jake Arnold.
No, look, I went to. I
It's
went
like
to
a peanut butter and jelly burger.
I don't know about that,
Yeah,
but I went
you've
to.
never had a peanut butter and jelly burger?
No,
What?
but
We have places in Ohio that sells it, and we don't go to those places. Those are in the neighborhoods we stay out of.
so I did go to a really nice restaurant. It's Chris restaurant. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, I know Ruth's Chris.
So they do have a chef's favorite menu, right? So the chef specials, and they did have a wild venison, and it was deer. How did they cook them? It was like the filet mignon of a deer, but they had the rib still attached to it.
Like a tomahawk.
That's yes, but they're deer size, so they're not that big. But you get two of those with like a blueberry sauce.
Yeah,
That's really good.
blueberry
Sounds
compote.
good,
So I could see the jam working with the elk steak, but not the burger thing. That's just weird.
Try it.
But-
Peanut butter and jelly burger. It's great.
Jake, you need to make your own recipe book. People would buy it just to have a unique thing on their shelf.
Challenge accepted.
Oh, no.
How many recipes do you need?
Oh.
You stress me out. I come up here to enjoy a quiet time with my friends, and all Jake Arnold does is stress us out.
My wife's had a carefree week.
I'm sure she's having the time of her life right now. That lady is definitely close to sainthood,
She is. That is for sure.
especially with these apples she made.
I know. It's good.
Give us our intermission, AJ.
This is our intermission. Oh, God.
Like a intermission show.
I thought you were gonna say make an announcement. This is a brief intermission while we change out the batteries in the camera.
Oh, please hold for a brief intermission while you have a word from our sponsors.
Thank you for holding. Well, AJ figured out his life.
Yeah, we're still working on it, boys.
Still working on it. Don't worry, we're still here.
Still working.
AJ has not fallen into the fire.
Yet. There's still time.
Mics are almost dead. We got to wrap this
It's also
up.
past AJ's bedtime.
It is how late is it?
It is
We've
midnight.
only been going for an hour and a half.
My goodness.
He did say midnight is his cutoff.
Yeah.
We are 11:54.
I need my Formula One and my magnesium.
It's amazing how much we can talk around a campfire.
And I stayed awake the whole time.
No, usually this is past Jonathan's bedtime.
Usually,
AKA the chair around the fire.
Yeah, chair around the. No, last night I went straight to the sleeping bag.
Yeah, you did.
I did not wait for you to start that fire in there. I just went to bed. Yeah. Is there anything we haven't hit on? AJ killed a monster coyote.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We saw
Hey,
those
you didn't
coyotes.
talk
I
about
saw
that.
those coyotes
Mega
yesterday.
meats.
Hey,
It
listen.
was mega meat.
It. I will give credit where credit is due. This is a unpaid advertisement. This is just a testimonial. But coyote had a ton of action all morning. Deer chasing, grunting, 2 shooters, one of which Jake actually shot, which was really cool to see. But they all moved out. 2 younger bucks were there. They looked up the ridge. They boogered out, so I assumed it had to be a bigger deer. I was wrong. It was a 3-pack of coyotes. By the time I turn around, they're 40 yards and closing. 22 yards absolutely obliterated it. I'm using
They couldn't see AJ because he was in the split tree.
That's right. That big split tree guy. That's a story for a different time. But so yeah, the G5 Mega Meat. I mean, I know they make good products. It's a 3-blade expandable, but absolutely obliterated this coyote. I took the shot, saw blood immediately, watched it take off running, saw blood. By the time I got up to it, the entry looked like a normal entry, and when I looked at the back end, it had severed from chest down to belly and blew through one of its legs. So, needless to say, highly impressed with that. But while out there, I decided, I don't have a Euro mount for a coyote, so I decided to take the head off that guy. We brought him back to camp, and he's kind of like our camp mascot. A very creepy, very creepy camp mascot.
You guys go to camp.
Yeah. So it's kind of backlit by the camera right now, but just bangs, gnarly. I'm a big believer that if you see coyotes, regardless of the year or the time or things like that, you should absolutely take care of them. They kill turkeys, they kill fawns. They're just not good animals to have around. You want to get rid of them as much as possible. Oh yeah, and we forgot to tell you.
Dude, those cows were fat.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
not just fluffy from the winter coats, but they had a healthy coat. They were fat. Like I second guessed myself yesterday thinking they might have been wolves because they were so big.
Yeah, they are gorgeous, but they're detrimental to the ecosystem. They will eat anything that is a young animal. So like I said, we're prime rubber. I didn't hesitate to take that shot. But yeah, no, so a lot of fun. Still got a little bit of fun left. I hate sleeping in. It's like constant. Oh, no, this trip I'm doing fully double scoop, fully cookies and cream with a scoop and a half of chocolate sea salt magnesium. Highly recommend. This is what I'm going to go do right
It's the fluffer. It's iconic.
now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nighttime.
Does it for me.
Well, again, Jake, I know, speaking for these guys, but I appreciate that you got this rolling, that you and your dad have invited us up here, and to obviously continue with that.
Mm-hmm.
And for everyone out there, again, just look, there's people out there, just a couple of series to go check out. Definitely go check out. The Seek One boys are really good about having their own camp. Right? It may seem like that might be out of reach. That's fine. There's another series that I just started watching by Latitude, which actually I don't work with Latitude. I know they're good dudes. They're a great saddle as well. But they're the Grit series. The first episode, those guys just did that. They did an Airbnb. They had people coming from out of state to this one state that they were hunting, and that's just how they're doing it, right? And so they've got some friends together. They even talked about in there how one of the guys had to jet home because his daughter ended up in the hospital for some crazy whatever. And so, like, they're real people too, right? So they've got their type of camp. Create your own camp, whatever that looks like. If that's just a couple days, again, it's elk camp. Maybe you've got a sheep hunt. Maybe you've got whatever. Create those traditions so that in the future, that's something that you can do with your friends and your family. And don't wait to be invited. Go out and try and make it your own thing. And then also ask yourself, are you someone that you would want to hang out with? That's a big deal because if you're not comfortable being by yourself, if you're not comfortable being with yourself and who you really are, because you really are the only person that knows who you are on the inside when no one's around. That's just between you and God. Even your spouse doesn't know everything about you, whether that's intentional or not. You're the only one that really does. So if you're not comfortable being around yourself, maybe change those things, and then eventually people will come into your circle. I know Jake, unfortunately got stuck with me. At a very early stage of First Phorm Outdoors, but outside of him essentially looking like me, and being like 2 inches taller than me, and everyone thinking we're brothers, he got stuck with me, about 5 years ago. So. Dang it.
Yeah. But off that, the last little thing I was going to leave, Jonathan hit on it. Like, you have to go first. You have to be the individual to go out and take action in what it is you wish to see in the world, in this life. If you don't have lead from the front. We got a flag for any of you guys who are in the video section. There's a flag behind us. The reason I say that in particular is you have to make sure that you're good with being who you are and being around yourself and your own quiet place, but no one owes you anything. Like, no one owes you the trip to do those different things. Like, you have to be the individual that other people ultimately look to be able to seek those things out. And no different than wanting to be surrounded by these guys and who I choose to have and can. Like, you can't think that you're the individual that's that good. Like, you gotta let the ego kind of get crushed a little bit. Right? Like, hey, you're not that good. Right? None of us are. All of us are all trying to work to get a little bit better. And if you think you are good enough and that you deserve it, and all these different things, take a hard look in the mirror and ask yourself if that's just how you feel or if your actions actually show it. And that's not just this. And that's, I think, you're stuck or you're not happy with who you are or where you're at or who you're hanging around. I'm a very big believer in, like, the foundation of all that starts with how you actually take care of your body. Like, go to the gym. Go through, it doesn't have to be gym. Work out at home. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're taking care of your body, your mind. Like, what you put into your brain, what you put into your body are two huge pieces that literally build the foundation for everything. And I think about the outdoor side of it, like, you'll be a better hunter, you'll be a better outdoorsman, you'll be a better friend, family, like, all of it. And it's all rooted with living a healthier, fit, active lifestyle allows you to experience it. So you'll actually live longer and actually be able to get out there and do it for longer as well. So that's my little piece to it. Because if you really don't like who you are, you will never like who you are if you don't go through and take care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Hey, Jay. Sorry, it's past midnight. You're still not a pumpkin, though.
Yeah. You guys got about 30 seconds of me staring at this fire, and then I'm gone.
Lights out.
Yeah, no, but honestly, thanks guys for hopping on here, and then all of you guys out there listening. If you've made it this far, really appreciate it. Definitely, of course, go and check out each of these guys' pages. I'll leave them linked down below. You probably already are if you're following my stuff, but if not, I'll leave them down below, and go subscribe to the First Phorm Outdoors YouTube channel. Go follow their page as well over on Instagram. It's just a great community over on Facebook as well. We've got a First Phorm Outdoors Facebook group where people are going, and especially this time of year, sharing a lot of their successes. And hey, that may be somewhere that you find your next deer camp. There's going to be people in there that you can find that maybe you can't find around you. Maybe you're trying to better yourself. And again, not to bash on drinking or anything like that, but maybe you're trying to create a camp like our camp that is a little bit different. You're not waking up with hangovers or things like that. You don't want to, you want to live a healthier style of deer camp. You're going to find people on First Phorm Outdoors Facebook page that want to do that as well. And who knows, you might be able to get invited because you're asking questions in there. I've seen that happen as
Part
well.
of the community.
Exactly. I've seen that happen as well. There's a lot of people in there that are also looking for other people to go hunt with. And all you need to do is go in there and find those people. So, yeah, with that all being said, guys, like Jake was saying, lead from the front so that you can experience more of the outdoors. AJ, what's your thing that you always say?
Keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward. Baby.
Love that.
Even if it's past midnight.
I'm going to move forward into my tent.
And like I always say, guys, get out, live your life.